Hey, so in this video I'm going to talk about the idea that everybody is completely unique, but I guess because of that, each person has their own specific way that they can interact with the world. That when everybody learns how to do that, like in their own completely unique way, it has the potential to form um, essentially a world where everybody can just be themselves and things just kind of work out because everybody is doing like the best that they I don't want to say the best that they can, but there is like the because everybody can act exactly how they like in the core of their being want to act and who they want to be. It means that everybody will work at like maximum efficiency, and there will be no that whole mentality that people wish they could be doing something different just kind of doesn't appear in that type of system because everybody is placed in a way where like what they're doing is coming from their own desire to do things. And this sounds a little bit like a kind of a like social what do you call it, like a social political type of ideology, but the way I'm talking about it is really as a form of spiritual practice of seeing this potential in people. Because in the world we live in right now, everybody does. I mean, maybe there's some people who are really like living their dreams, but so many people are living a life where they feel like they have to do things that they don't really want to do. Like they'll go to work every day, and their job is good enough, like it pays their bills, and maybe they don't love it, but they don't hate it. But they aren't really living the life that they wish they could be living. And just seeing that even though this is the way that so many people live, there is some perfect world, out there in like the infinite possibilities. There's some perfect world where every single person has the freedom to find the thing that they're doing. Sorry, find the thing that they really want to be doing. And to kind of make that a possibility and then to live that life. And yeah, this is a difficult thing to explain how this can kind of be converted into like an internal practice. But I think the most obvious way is that to see that this is a possibility for everybody is the first step in realizing the way that you can cause your own life. You can like make your own life into that type of a perfect system. Because when you make choices in your life, you don't always realize it, but you might be making the choices from a place of just pessimism and from a place of not believing that it's possible for you to live the life that you want to live. And I think a good example of this is actually there's a bunch of different examples that it's hard to say which is the right one to say. But like if you think about the way that you eat, like the diet that you have, it's like if you are always eating food because you think that you're not healthy and you think that the food that you're going to eat is healthier for you, it always puts you in a position of like making decisions based on a world that you wish could exist but doesn't exist. Like you wish you were healthier and you wish you were in the world where you just eat healthy food. And in order to get there, you think with the mentality of I'll eat this food because it's healthy and I won't eat this other food because it's not healthy. But the problem with that pattern of thinking is that you're always placing yourself in a world where you aren't healthy yet. And because of that, it's like the world where you're healthy and you're always eating healthy food is always going to be imaginary. And it's never going to actually be the world you live in. And there's a certain disconnect that you have to reconcile between what is essentially like the perfect world and the present world that you live in. And in the interest of like the spiritual enlightenment, like the spiritual path that you can follow. I'm shivering a little bit. It's kind of cold today. But in the interest of that type of spiritual progress, that type of mentality can be useful in some situations, but if you can never leave that mentality, you'll never actually get to the perfect world that you're trying to live in. And so the type of person that, you know, goes to work every day and lives a life that they think is just good enough and is, you know, never really the life they wish they could have, that person ends up being stuck always in that mentality of, you know, there's a perfect world out there, but I am just not able to live in it. And for someone who really wants, like, the true, I don't know, who just wants to live in a world that is as perfect as it can be, that mentality will inevitably limit you. And yeah, I think this kind of just sets the stage for the reason that this, the thing I was talking about at the beginning of, you know, seeing everybody as having like their own unique part in the collective, kind of the collective enlightenment. The reason that's useful is because you can see yourself in that light and see that the way you are now is already something that can fit into this kind of perfect system that could be created. And so instead of imagining a perfect world where, you know, one day you can be good enough to be a part of it, you can see that the way that you are now is already something that could fit into a different perfect world. And when you sort of gain the ability to really see the world you're in right now as already being perfect, you can see that what you're already doing is already a perfect part of that. Oof. Oh my god, I hope the phone isn't shaking a bunch. There's like a cool breeze blowing, and I'm not conditioned to the cold weather yet. But yeah, I think that's I think more or less sums up what I'm saying, is that it's like the fact that people in this world are enlightened, and that there is like it's possible for people to be enlightened, and enlightenment involves living in a world that is perfect. It means that on some level you already are in a world which is perfect and which has like no flaws and no missteps and no misattributions of qualities. And because that a world exists according to some people, it means that if you just kind of agree with that mentality, you can bring yourself into that same perfect world. And this means, like, the way I am saying it sounds like you kind of have to like agree with a different person's way of seeing things, which I think on some level is very useful as a way of progressing towards enlightenment. But that's kind of just like it's just like one possible way to see things. And I think the real way to make your own world perfect is to kind of gain your own way of seeing your place in the world. Because, you know, until you see it for yourself, you can't really see the reality of like the reality that the world is already perfect. Because Because yeah, that's just like, that's one of those things that is true on paper and it's true according to other people, but you really have to see it for yourself for it to actually be true for you. But yeah, just in the interest of that truth, that possibility of just a world where things are just good and, you know, perfect for you. Seeing that other people are kind of living out their lives in a way that already fits into the world a certain way, and seeing that they don't actually have to change themselves to be a part of a world that is perfect is yeah, just very useful, and I think really allows you to see people as they are rather than seeing people as that you wish them to be, which you know, I personally have a lot of trouble with that. I'm always trying to improve myself and improve other people, but on some level you don't actually have to improve anything. You just have to just change the way you see things, and just kind of be content with what you have, and be content with who other people are. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this is kind of a type of video I want to make more. Just taking a certain idea and just kind of elaborating on it a little bit, because while I have so much to say about Buddhism or, you know, other ideologies, I don't want to make all my videos about that type of stuff, because I don't know. I think I want to develop the skills. I want to develop like multiple talking skills through this channel, and talking about Buddhism is a very useful skill to have. But talking about my own ideas, like things like this video where it's kind of starting from an idea that I've heard from someone else and really expanding on it in my own way, is yeah, I think that's more what I want to, or that's just like another skill that I want to develop over time. Whew. But yeah, wow. I apologize again for if the video is really shaky, but just as a bit of a video journal thing, it's like the fall right now, and I think this fall and winter I want to just kind of like train my body and kind of just like learn through the meditative practices to just like not get cold no matter how cold it is. And the fact that it's, I think 50, maybe 55 degrees out and I'm shivering is a sign that I have a lot of progress to make. Oh my god, it definitely shook there. But yeah, I guess that's about it for this video. So like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and yeah, peace.